it. Thank you. Guess where it was? It was right here on the floor.
Okay.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's see. So you don't want to be on the camera?
I
You're
don't
looking
mind.
good. You don't
I
mind?
don't mind.
Okay. Let me see.
Just as long as you are ready when I call you, I'll give you enough.
Enough time? Okay, let me see if I can hang this in a way that it can get both of us. I'm not sure. Let's see. No, that's as far as it goes.
We are back. This is Carolyn J. Hudson, your host of Silent Stream Speaks. Silent Stream Speaks, the radio show that helps you understand the plight and fight of sex crime survivors, their families, and the community. If you would like to join our conversation, our call-in number is 214-431-5062. Again, the call-in number is 214-431-5062. This afternoon, we have with us Dr.Alfie Wines. I read a little bit of her bio earlier. Dr. Wines serves as a board member and writes blogs for equity for women in the church. She is on the alumni board of the Bright Divinity School, where she leads a theological reflection group for students during their year of supervised ministry in the churches in other settings. When she is not working, Dr. Wines can be found pursuing her love of music, enjoying a good book, and spending time with family and friends. Dr. Wines, I welcome you to our show this afternoon.
Thank you so much. I am so glad to be with you. I want to thank you, Ms. Hudson, for the invitation to be with you on this evening.
Thank you. Need to get a little closer to the mic. Just a little closer to the mic.
A little closer, okay.
Okay. I welcome you. I am so excited. I know that you have a couple of books out there that we will talk about later. But first, I want to ask you, what is a transformational speaker?
Oh, great. Thank you for asking me that. We have all kinds of speakers. And there are motivational speakers and inspirational speakers, but I consider myself to be a transformational speaker. And that is, I want to help you walk through some difficult places in your life and then enable you to see change, to enable you to make that next step. And you know, that next step will be different for all of us depending on our own personal stories. But I want people to know that there is always hope, and there is always another possibility. As you were saying in your earlier comments, that there is another way to live. And it is joyful, it is peaceful, it is full of hope. But guess what? We've got to do the work to bring that into our lives. And so that's what I'm all about.
So when you say that we have got to do the work, there are some people that have gone through things.
Yeah.
And they have overcome them.
Yes.
But right after they get out of one, something else happens.
Yeah.
And then right after they get out of that one, something else happens. I have a dear friend this year. I think she lost 10 members in her family.
Ooh.
10 members, if I'm not mistaken. How do you recover from something like that, when you were strong enough to get through the first, and strong enough to get through the second, and strong enough to get through 7 or 8, but at some point when you have gone through mess after mess after mess,
Yes.
you have gone through struggles after struggles,
Yes.
trials after trials,
Yes.
and you don't see any end to it. You are tired.
Yes.
You are fed up.
Yes.
There is no help out there. You don't see any help out there. Even folks that know Jesus,
Yes.
they get this way too, because
Oh
I
yes.
did.
Oh yes.
I did. And you just want to give up. You just want the pain to stop. Talk to us about, what does somebody like that do? What do you do?
My goodness, you know, you've really hit what I would say the nail on the head. Because there are times when life hits us so hard that we really get to that point where we don't know what to do. And what it really amounts to is that we have used up all of the resources that we have at that point. That we are at a point where we don't know what to do. The things we've done before have not worked.
They're not working.
They're not working. So the question is, what do you do when you get to that point? And I think one of the things we have to realize and recognize is that we don't necessarily have the resources. Some of them are within us, and we have to draw upon those. We have them even though we don't realize it. But the other thing is that sometimes we have to reach out to someone else. And I know I can tell you about a time in my own life when I hit that kind of point in my life. It was a dream deferred. It was a financial crisis. And it just put me in a place where I couldn't. I had gone through all kinds of things. My parents had died, both of them. You know, I'm divorced. I've been divorced for 30 years now. All kinds of things. I've had a serious illness, kept me in the hospital 17 days, had to recover from that. So I've had my own share of struggles. But this time, and what had happened to me is that because of my job, I moved away from my home, which I hated. I did not like being away from home. And that put me in a financial situation. I'm out of bankruptcy now, but praise God, I'm out. But I had to go through bankruptcy in order to keep my house. And that just really broke my heart, to think that me, you know, somebody who I think is supposed to have it together.
Doctor.
Yeah, Reverend Doctor.
Reverend Doctor.
Not just doctor, not just reverend, but Reverend Doctor.
Okay.
And what I did, several things that really helped me. One is that I reached out to my spiritual director. So yes, I have always had a spiritual director for many, many years. But most of my conversations with her were not with me in that kind of place. But when I was in that place, I knew I needed to call somebody. So one thing that I did, I knew who to call. Yes. I called my spiritual director, and she worked with me and helped me think about that thing a little differently. And the other thing that happens to me is that I happen to be a journaler, and I believe in the power of lament. You know, we live in a world and a society that really does not like to deal with problems. It does not like to deal with these hard places. They tell us, just get over it. Well, guess what?
It ain't that easy.
It ain't that easy.
It ain't that easy.
It ain't that easy. You have to work through the process. And so in my process of dealing with this, I already had some things, and then I added some things to the process that really worked for me. But I am a journaler. And so the way that I lament is by writing it down. Now, sometimes I go back and look at it, but sometimes I just write it down. The mere fact of writing it down is a way of in effect, communicating with someone else. In effect, a way of communicating with myself. And as a believer, it is a way of communicating with God. So it's doing all three of those at the same time. And so I did a lot of journaling, which I've been doing for years, but at that point it was a whole bunch of journaling.
Well, and you are talking my language. A lot of what you just said, I lived through. I went through bankruptcy. I went through 2 divorces.
Yes.
I have health issues.
Yes.
I have financial issues.
Yes.
I know all of that. And I, too, journal.
Yes.
Journal is therapy.
Yes.
Just like art is therapy.
Yes.
Or singing is therapy.
Yes.
Or dancing is therapy.
Yes.
Whatever you like to do, do it. You said that you went to your spiritual director. For some people that are not in that place, would you say that they would need to go to somebody that they trust?
Yes.
Somebody they believe can help them?
Yes.
Because everyone has to have a safe place.
Yes.
You have to have a safe person. We are going to continue this conversation shortly. Okay, we have 4 minutes. You're doing excellent. You're doing excellent.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, the spiritual director, someone to get. Yeah, I want to comment on the comment that you made when we get back, where people say get over it. Those are people that have not, to me, gone through something serious, something deep enough where they could not just get over it. And some people are just judgmental.
Yeah.
Until you go through it.
Yeah.
Until you go through something that humbles you.
Yeah.
Humbles you. I went through a lot of humbling. And I told God, I don't want to go around this mountain anymore. Whatever you are trying to teach me, do it. Whatever you're trying to teach me, do it. I don't want to go around this mountain.
I hear you. I hear you. Oh, this is perfect. I love this. I love the Post-it notes. Yes. Thank you. I want to, at some point, I want to turn my camera around. I haven't figured out how to get both of us on here at the same time, so I want to turn it around and greet you as my host.
Okay, we only have, we have one more break.
Okay.
And then when the show's over, another show's gonna come in.
Okay.
So we have to, as soon as the show's over, we have to go out.
Okay.
So if you don't have me, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll turn it around if I can. We'll see.
So during the next break, if you want to try to do it, that'll be fine. During the next break.
Oh, during the next break. Okay. Okay.
Or I can put you over here. But that means that I'm gonna have to sit like this. I'm not used to that.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll do it that way. Okay. I'll just try to move the camera over here and let them get a quick picture of it. We'll see. Uh-oh.
I need that because of the subject matter. You need something. Can you hear it?
Uh-huh.
Good afternoon again. This is Carolyn J. Hudson with Silent Scream Speaks. Our call-in number is 214-431-5062. Again, the call-in number is 214-431-5062. Silent Scream Speaks, the radio show that helps you understand the plight and fight of sex crime survivors, their families, and the community. However, this afternoon, we are talking about healing. We are talking about what do you do to get through to your healing or to your peace or to your joy. And we are talking about that this afternoon because everyone is not so joyous during this happy holiday season, during this joyous holiday season. We just want to give you a few pointers on how to get through. And it is not easy. Everybody has some kind of trials and struggles. Some are just unbearable. Before the break, we are talking to Dr. Alfie Wines. And before the break, she had mentioned the statement that some people say, just get over it. Why would somebody tell you just get over it? Are they impatient? Do they feel that you have been grieving too long? Nobody can put a time limit on your grief. Just make sure that you manage your grief and your grief does not manage you. When your grief manages you, there is a serious problem because that goes into a place where you have no control, and it is using you. So just get over it. If anyone tells you that, ignore them. You know where you are. You know how you feel. Find somebody that you trust. She said that she went to her spiritual director Do you have a friend that you trust? Do you have a family member? Do you have a safe place? It has to be somebody you can trust, somebody you can talk to. My safe place was my sister, and still is, and it has been 10 years since the assault. She may not understand what I'm talking about. She may not understand what I am going through, but she was there. She didn't try to counsel me. She just listened and let me talk. And that was so healing to know somebody would just listen, because my mind was totally messed up. And I didn't know half of what I was saying. She just listened and she prayed. She listened and she prayed. I thank God that I have some praying associates. But we are going to get back to Dr. Alfie Wines. Hello, Dr. Alfie Wines.
Hello.
Again.
Hello. Carolyn, thank you so much for inviting me.
Yes. You had also mentioned journaling helps.
Yes.
Journaling helps. And can you talk about that a little bit more? Because I journal.
Yeah.
And I don't just journal every day.
Yes.
I journal when I have something to say. I journal when I'm angry. I journal when I'm happy. I journal when something happened. One day I might write 10 pages.
Yeah.
One day I might write a little paragraph.
Yeah.
But like you, I would go back through. I go back through my journals and I see where I came from.
Yes.
And that encourages.
Yeah.
So if you don't journal, journaling helps because you can see your steps. You can see where you were 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 months ago, or whatever. And then you see where you are now. And that is such an encouragement. It gives you strength. It gives you empowerment. Talk about the journaling a little bit more.
Oh, for sure. And I do the same thing. I sometimes journal pages, and other times it may be just something short. It's not necessarily every day. If I journal every day, I'm really in a deep, deep place where I have a whole lot to say. And then, it tapers off sometimes. But I've been journaling since I was, where was I? I was in undergrad. So I've been journaling now for, 40 years plus. It's been a long-term project with me.
Why did you start then?
What made me start? Oh, gosh. Well, in college, I started, Essence magazine came out. And I loved reading what the articles, and I loved especially reading the editorials. And that's when I made up my mind that I was going to become a writer. So I just kind of started writing then. When I really started journaling to help me deal with things, I had not been married very long.
Okay.
And even though I stayed married for a long time, I was unhappy a good portion of that.
Yes.
And so it was when I shifted from being crazy in love to being miserable. And that's when I began to really, really seek journaling for healing. But the thing is, you mentioned just get over it. And what people don't understand, or even if they understand, they don't like it, is it's a process.
It's a process.
And what they want you to do, people are impatient. And so they want you to just get back, be whoever, get over it and let's go on.
Do you think that is because they want their life to get back to normal? Not the person that is grieving or going through, but that it has interrupted their norm and they want their normal back, which is why they say just get over it?
That's good, because they're being affected by our grief. And they don't like that. They don't like what's happening to them, let alone what's happening to us.
Yes.
And so, plus, as a society, we have done a terrible job of building a culture that does not like to deal with these things. But first of all, you've got to face the truth. As awful as it is, whether it's something that was done to you or whether it was something that you have done to someone else. It doesn't matter which way. But the point is, you have got to come to terms with it was awful. In my case, I had to come to terms with the fact that it was awful that I was in bankruptcy. But that was what I needed to do. And so I finally came to terms with that. But I did not like it. But I want to suggest that people often want to get to forgiveness too quick without realizing you've got to go through the process. And so for me, forgiveness is the last thing that you do. Once you have accepted that this thing really did happen and you have acknowledged that it really did go on, you've done the lamenting, and then you work through the process. And it includes things like acknowledging who you are, acknowledging that what happened to you is not who you are, being able to separate who you are and not identify so much with what has happened that you are stuck, but that you are able to separate that what happened to you is not who you are. And so being able to do that, being able to know the difference between excellence and perfection, to have difficult conversations that you need to have sometime with yourself or with in conversation with God or with other people.
Okay, we're going to stop you there because I have some questions. I have some questions. You made the statement they have to face the truth.
Yes.
Sometimes the person does not know what the truth is. Sometimes they believe that they know the truth, and this happens often. So they're standing by that truth because to them it is truth, and you telling them something else does not change their mind. I believe boom, 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 and you can't change my mind. How do they get to the place of the truth and not their truth? There's a difference between your truth and the truth. So you said that they have to face the truth. Many times they don't know what the truth is. They know their truth. I knew my truth, but it took years for me to recognize the truth. Example, an assault survivor, their truth is it was their fault. And they're going to act on that because they believe it was their fault. That's their truth, but it's not the truth. The truth is it was not their fault.
Yeah.
They had nothing to feel guilty about or shame about. How do you get somebody to know the real truth?
Good question. I'm glad you asked that. Let's use that example that you brought up because it is so real.
Yes.
That when things horrible happen to us, we think that we are the sole person that's responsible for it.
Why did I do this and why did I, okay?
And so what has happened is we have taken on too much responsibility for ourselves.
For what happened.
For what happened. And so what we have to learn to do is to sort out what, if anything, is my part. I may not have any part in it.
Right.
For example, if we're talking about the sexual abuse of a child, the child is not responsible for that.
But they carry that for years.
Yes, they will carry that and they will feel that. But the reality is they are not responsible. And so what the person has to learn to do is to, if they have some responsibility, to own up to it. But then at the same time, put that responsibility on the other person that belongs on the other person.
So we have to learn how to separate the actions or the incident from ourselves.
Yes.
We have to learn, like for a survivor. The survivor did not put it in the perpetrator's mind.
That's right.
To assault them.
That's right.
That's on the perpetrator.
That's right.
The survivor didn't cause them to do that because of something they said, because of something they wore, or because of where they went. A lot of assaults happen because of clubbing, going to clubs. It is not the survivor's fault because they were drinking or they got drunk. They didn't put it in the predator's head to assault them or
Yes.
to rape them or to do what
Yes.
they did. Sometimes it takes months and years for a survivor to realize that I did nothing wrong. Even a domestic violence survivor, he beat me because I burnt his food. That isn't the reason he
That's
beat
right. That's right.
beat you.
That's right.
You had nothing to do with him putting his hands on you.
Yes.
You did nothing wrong. I do want to make another comment. Not on that. I have some good notes. So listeners, I have some notes here. Number one, she said she went to a spiritual director.
Yes.
Which is go to somebody that you trust. Go to a safe place. And the other key thing that I wrote down is journaling. Journaling. When you do journal, you are helping your healing process. The fourth thing that I have down is that she says face the truth. Now you will need to talk to yourself. You will need to analyze things to figure out what the real truth is, because your truth may not be the truth. Your truth may have you taking all of the blame, which is not so. Like a child whose parent dies, and they blame themselves.
Yes.
Because of their parent's death. Can you see that bothering them for the
Yes.
rest of their lives?
Yes.
That is their truth, but it's not the truth.
Yes.
You have to understand that. Now, you had mentioned forgiveness also. Now, I do want to tell you, I had a hard time with people coming to me and telling me I needed to forgive.
Yes.
How did they know that I had unforgiveness?
Yes.
They did not. Religious people would come to me, and it was as if they were putting the responsibility on me.
Yes.
To forgive this perpetrator.
Yes.
Then everything would be better when I forgive. No. First off, there was no unforgiveness. My thoughts were, a snake is a snake is a snake. If the snake, if he's a snake and he bites me, that is part of his character. He's a snake. So like there was nothing there. But when you try to put religious connotations into a physical or an emotional healing, sometimes that shuts the survivor down. Sometimes they don't want to hear anything. Sometimes they will not go back to church. I got a call yesterday from a survivor, and they don't want church counseling because it was too religious.
Yes.
It wasn't about her healing.
Yes.
It was about religion.
Yes.
Her spiritual.
Yes.
Not her soul.
Yes.
Not her mind. Not help me get my
Yes.
life back.
Yes.
Help me get my life back. So be careful when you talk to a survivor or talk to somebody that is hurting. You can be a little too churchified, and that will shut them down.
Let me tell you about forgiveness, though.
Talk about it.
Because people misunderstand forgiveness.
Okay, talk about it.
And I agree with you. Church doesn't help. Sometimes church doesn't help. That's another topic, okay? That's another whole topic, all right? And I'm clear about that, right? I'm a pastor, and I'm clear also that I have a story when the church didn't help. That's another story, but...
Let us hold that thought.
All right.
Keep it, and we will be right back, because we have to take a little break. But we will be right back, and she will talk about forgiveness. Okay.
All righty. And during this break, I'm going to take advantage of the time because I want you all to meet my host, Miss Carolyn Hudson. We are here at Fishburne Network. There she is.
Hello.
Wave at everybody. Tell them hello.
How are you?
Wait a minute. Hold on. There you go. Now say it again.
Here I am.
All right. Tell them you love them.
Love you.
All right,
Enjoying
then.
the show? You gotta come back.
All righty. Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm glad to be with you. All right, everybody. We're taking a break. So I want you to know that you should be hearing some good music now. Oh!
That's a friend of mine.
Oh, this is her friend.
Okay, now, I don't think they can hear you
Okay.
or me because the mics are off
Oh, okay.
during the break.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to do it again, I can cut it short
Okay.
if you want to do it
Yeah,
again.
let's do it again. I want them to meet you.
Because I don't think...
Oh, because it's just the music. Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right, I got you.
But then that means that everybody's hearing it,
Right.
my audience too.
Okay.
Okay, so how am I going to work this? Okay. I don't want to stop the music because it is good,
Okay.
but if I don't stop it, we're only going to have a couple of minutes left. But can they hear it?
You know, I think with Facebook Live they ought to be able to hear it. I'm not sure. Somebody let me know that's watching. Can you hear the music and can you see Carolyn? Somebody that's watching, she's waving. Somebody that's watching, let me know. I don't know. We'll find out.
We're gonna cut this.
Okay.
We're gonna cut this down.
All right.
We are back. We are going to do a little test. My guest, Dr.Alfie Wines, is on Facebook Live, and I don't know much about Facebook Live, but I will know in January. We need to know, did you hear the music during the break? And did you see her introducing me? So somebody text into Facebook Live and let Dr. Alfie Wines know. We have about five minutes left, and we're going to end this talking about forgiveness whenever we are ready.
All right, we're ready. I do believe we are ready. And I want to just introduce you all to my host. This is Carolyn Hudson. She's waving, and I just want to tell her thank you for inviting me
Yes.
to be here with a Fishbowl Radio Network that has listenership of 250,000 people around the world. So
no, 2 million point.
2 what?
2 million.
Oh, well, excuse me.
Yes,
2.5 million people
yes.
around the world. So I am thoroughly excited and thoroughly grateful that she invited me here today.
You're welcome. That is not the Silent Stream Speak Show, though I wish that we did have 2 million listeners. That is the entire Facebook radio network. We have about 3 minutes left, and we're going to end this on forgiveness. And Dr. Wines, I would love to have you back. So.
Oh, well, thank you. I would love to come back. Here's the thing about forgiveness, and I know we have just a few minutes, but forgiveness is because the thing was so awful. Forgiveness is because it was horrible. And what you have to do is put some distance between you and that event, between you and that person. The example I like to use is the Wizard of Oz. And we've all probably seen the Wizard of Oz, and we know that scene when they were killing the Wicked Witch, and they were pouring water on her, and she was screaming to the top of her voice because she didn't want to die. She didn't want to die. She didn't want to die. She wanted to live. And I want to suggest that that's the way those pains are in our lives. They want to hang on. They want to hold on. They want to, we are so identified with them that we think we can't be ourselves without the pain, and we just hang on and hold on to it and try to put it out, and we're screaming. It's screaming. And so what we have to do is to allow that pain to die. Decide that that pain will no longer control my life, that pain will no longer be how I identify myself. And part of that is to understand that you are a beloved son, you are a beloved daughter of God, of creation, of the universe, whether you see it, spiritually as a Christian or whether you see it from a humanistic point of view. The fact is that you are awesome. We are all awesome.
Yes.
And so we have to get in touch with that and let that pain go. And that's what forgiveness is about.
Yes. We have to know who we are. We have to know what we are made of. We have to release the pain. Sometimes, as Dr. Wines said earlier, it is a process. It is a process. You have to go through the grieving cycle. It is a process. And sometimes it takes long. Dr. Wines, I would like to thank you for coming. I really, truly enjoyed this. I must have you back.
Oh, awesome.
I must have you back. We have about 20 seconds left, and I didn't tell them about your book. Could you let them know the title of your book quickly?
Yes, the title of my book, available on Amazon, Take Back Your Life, How to Break Through When Life Breaks Your Heart. And not only is there a book, but there's also a journal that goes with it.
10 seconds.
And in January, there will be an online course. So stay ready.
Take Back Your Life.
How to Break Through When Life Breaks Your heart.
Your heart. Okay. We do have to go. Love you. We will be back next Tuesday.
All right.
I just made it. Just made it because they cut you off.
Okay.
Right on time. So.
All right.
Excellent.
Well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you so much for inviting me. I think I'm still on live. I haven't cut it off yet. So everybody, blessings to you. And tonight is Bible Study Remix night. So I'll see you at 7 for Bible Study Remix. We'll be talking about Esther. Take care. Be blessed. Bye-bye.